Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Dark Souls 3 PvP invasion video. I've been away for a little while. I've been struggling with some personal issues in my own life, so I'm sorry that I haven't been around, and I'm sorry to the people that I normally talk to that I haven't been very talkative lately. It's all better now. I've sorted things out in my life that needed sorting out that I've been putting off for a while, so I'm happy about that. So anyway, I haven't played Dark Souls 3 in a hot minute. I had other things to be worrying about. But I fancied giving it another go again. It was one of those occasions where I was like, oh, that's it, I quit Dark Souls now, I'm never going to play it again, and then I leave it for a month or so, and then I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll play just a little bit more, just one more build, and here we are. So, Amish obviously does his continued series with regards to Spirit of the Church invasions. I've always really enjoyed his videos. I enjoy his playstyle. I just enjoy him in general. He is an enjoyable human being. So, and he mentioned in his latest Spirit of the Church video about he was been trying ultra great swords with his character, and he doesn't really think that they work in this kind of invasion Spirit of the Church scenario. He said they were good 1v1 in kind of a dueling scenario with the off S-stock or off hand axe, which is very true. That is a very strong combo. But for these kinds of invasions and Spirit of the Church, they're not really his cup of tea. And I mean, I didn't take offence to that, obviously, because it's a fucking game. I don't care how people want to play it. But I really disagreed with him on that. And this isn't really a response video to his comments in his latest video, but it kind of, sort of, I just wanted to sort of make the point that the Ultra Great Sword, at least this Ultra Great Sword with the infusion stats that I've got, is more than just viable. You can absolutely dominate people in Spirit of the Church invasions. So I pretty much just my old Spirit of the Church character I took up to 125 so I could duel with him, and I kind of wish that I hadn't done that now. So I spent a couple of days making up a new character just on my own. Basically recreating my original Spirit of the Church build. So if you want to know the stats and equipment and all that jazz, you can go and look at either of my other Spirit of the Church videos. He's essentially the same guy. I've been messing around with the rings slightly. My rings before were Prisoners, FAP +3, Priestess, and some Princess ring. I've still got 3 of them, but the Priestess ring only gave me like an extra 10 points of AR onto my into both my weapons that I'm using, so I was like, well, that's not really worth the entire ring slot. So I've been sort of mixing up and trying out some of the absorption boosting rings. So I was trying out the Lloyd shield ring and also the Ring of Steel Protection +3. I haven't been able to check the numbers on it, but absorption boosting in Spirit of the Church invasions is very worthwhile doing. You can take a hell of a lot more, especially if you're already the host is already at like 3 phantoms and you've got the maximum amount of absorbers. Stacking on top of it Lloyd shield ring and steel protection, you're just going to be tanky as fuck. That's give me some food for thought. Actually, I really want to try out a different version of this build, but wearing fucking heavy armour. That would be quite interesting to try out. So yeah, the Ultra Great Sword, I've got 40 faith and I'm using the Blessed Lothric Knight Ultra Great Sword. This is, to me, the best way to play Ultra Great Sword. It's the best Ultra Great Sword, and it's the best infusion to have on that Ultra Great Sword. You could get more AR out of, I think it's Refine infusing it and then buffing it with Lightning Blade. That will obviously give you just fucking berserk AR. I couldn't think of the right adjective to fucking accurately describe how OP as fuck that would be, but that is kind of dependent on you not getting dual charmed for one, and you lasting long enough that your buff is going to do the maximum amount of damage you can without running out. So the Blessed infusion, I've got about nearing 700 AR with the stats that I've got at the moment, and that's just fucking just berserk. So if you ever wanted to try Amish, a good Ultra Great Sword, go for Blessed Faith on Lothric Knights. It's just insane. You will always, if you get your 2 R1 combo off, you will always punish Estus for more than they are worth. And you combine that with something quick in your left hand. To be honest, it doesn't even have to be that. In this kind of scenario, where it is frantic as fuck and there's so much shit going on the screen, you don't really need to have blessed stock or a hand axe or whatever. I mean, it will be good and it will probably be the best option available to you, but you don't really need it. Everything is happening so fast and so frantically. There's so much particle effects on the screen with the spears and the orbs appearing around you, and then you got the guardians and there's loads of phantoms running around. It's hectic as fuck. So just having another speed of weapon in your left hand really complements the Ultra Greatsword, as I'm sure all of you are well aware by now. So that's the reason I've gone for the Dragon Slayer axe, because that's another weapon that works well on the Blessed Infusion because of the innate lightning damage, which so the physical and the lightning portion of those weapons scale with the Blessed Infusion, unlike on a physical infusion, where the physical portion of it will get scaling. Both the elemental and physical will get it on the Blessed. So yeah, I've tried out Blessed stock. I was going to defend the use of Blessed stock in this scenario, but although I've got the big damage of the Ultra Greatsword and the left-hand weapon is mostly just for harassment and just throwing people off their timings and mix-ups and stuff, the Blessed stock does nowhere near enough damage to really make a difference. It is good in the arena when your opponent can't heal. That's when it's good, because you can do the quick jabs and the pokes, and you'll get maybe 300 points of damage up to 2 hits of it. But in this scenario where you're wanting to fucking demolish people fairly quickly, Blessed stock doesn't really cut it for me. So that's why I've kind of stuck with the Dragon Slayer axe. You'll see me use Blessed stock a little bit later. Yeah, but it's good, it does all the quick Pokeball catches that I want to do, but I can do just as well, and I can put ganks away just as quickly with the Dragon Slayer axe on the left hand, which is fucking sweet. So I've spent the last couple of days doing these fights, so I've basically just left the game on in the background whilst I've gone to do other things, and just came back whenever I got an invasion, and I got a fuck ton of good footage. But all the ones you're seeing now are sort of the 3 and 4v1 sort of uber gang spank people. The 2v1s and the 1v1s are quite fun. You have to play a lot more cautiously there, and they're not quite as high octane and as exciting than these ones. Nothing gets your heart pumping more than a nice 3 or 4 man gang spank, and it's impressive as fuck. To me, it's impressive as fuck. See, the problem with this build is that you get really quite cocky, and I make a hell of a lot of mistakes during these fights, because I've got triple stat regen with Sun Princess, 2 blessed weapons. I've got the Filianor weapon art, and I've got Bountiful Light, which all stack together. So you can make so many mistakes. You can fuck up quite a lot in this build, and the regen will just clear up all your mistakes, which is nice. It makes a nice fucking change, because usually that's in the domain of the host to make all the mistakes and have his fucking Estus mop it up for him. But you end up playing stupid, and you'll end up just sort of going, oh, I could just cast medium heal in the middle of the arena and they can't do anything about it, and then they'll just come and fucking womp you and wombo combo you. So the reason I feel that Ultra Great Swords are probably the most viable in Spear of the Church fights comes as a part of you having the boosted absorption and your standing poise as a benefit of being a Spear of the Church. So the problem with Ultra Great Swords in regular invasions is that you kind of have to rely on baits and prediction in order to get people to trade with you, whereas in this Spear of the Church fights you can use your standing poise to just reaction trade everything. And even experienced PvPers have a problem with, because they're so used to the mindset of once they've started to swing into you, they feel like they're going to interrupt you if they've spaced you correctly. But because of your standing poise, you can just go, oh, he swung on me, and you just swing back in them. And because of the big ultra damage of the Ultra Greatsword, you will always win the trade. Even if there's a couple of people swinging into it at the same time, you will always win that trade. Because of your increased absorption, it becomes so much more viable. It's just It's beautiful. This is what Ultra Greatswords were made for. I mean, they're good in situations, in regular invasions, yes, but this is where they absolutely shine, in my opinion. They just fucking demolish. I love it. I fucking love it. I don't know why you want to use anything else, to be honest. I don't want to sound cocky, but I think this is the best a spear build is going to get. So you've got everything. You've got healing miracles, you've got fucking stacks and stacks of regen, and you've got fuck ton loads of damage and poise. Is there anything else that this build needs? I've put a bunch of other weapons on the build. I've got a spear for chasing down really roly-poly people who are on their own. I only have to break that out occasionally for solo hosts, but in most scenarios, in these big scenarios where I actually care about wanting to win, the Ultra Greatsword and the Dragon Slayer Axe, just, they got it covered, man. They got it fucking covered. So there was also another discussion going on Omish's latest spear videos about the best sort of most efficient healing miracles to use, and it was a toss-up between using Soothing Sunlight or Bountiful Sunlight, I can't remember which one, which is literally your whole HP bar in one spell, or using Great Heal, which is obviously won't always do your full health bar, but it is perhaps a little bit more stat efficient than Soothing Sunlight for most scenarios. I fall into the camp of neither of those. I think they're too FP intensive. I guess because the disadvantage of this build is that I have a fair amount of stat spread, because I have to have the 24 strength to use the Ultra Greatsword, and that's not something that Omish with his build has to really worry about, because I think the heaviest weapon that he uses is maybe the Astora Greatsword or the Claymore, so he doesn't have that big amount of stat spread, so he can afford maybe a little bit more into FP in order to use those miracles as well. But I've got 14 attunement, which has given me just enough for 2 attunement slots, and Bountiful Sunlight synergizes great with all the rest of the regen, and I wouldn't want to take that off. But Medium Heal works just fine. I think Great Heal and Soothing Sunlight are kind of overkill, even in these really high intensity gank scenarios where you're going to be wanting to pop those miracles off fairly frequently. I still think that Medium Heal is perfectly acceptable, because the amount of HP healed scales off, off the amount of faith you have and your spell buff on your talisman. As long as you've got a decent talisman and it's fully upgraded and you've got a decent amount of faith, your Medium Heal is going to do maybe 2/3 of your health. You know, between a half and 2/3, I would say. More along 2/3, which is just what you need. With this build, you don't want to be letting people get you down to that point where you need that full bar of HP back. So now, you can see now I'm kind of about 2/3, and now that's the situation where I'm like, right, yep, that's it, Medium Heal now. And although the Guardian got his heal spell off at the same time, that still would have done my full HP bar. It's so much more stat efficient, and even though you get this fucking Parry King, bastard, absolute bastard. There's so many really shit crit fishes, backstab and parry fishes come crawling out of the woodwork when you're fighting Spirit of the Church, because they think that, oh, this is going to be fucking easy, because all my phantoms and hosts will be able to mop up all my shitty mistakes. Fucking putting those people on the ground just gives me no end of glee. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying now. Yeah, you get FP boost the more phantoms that are in the world, so you can get more bang for your buck, sort of spell wise. But I still feel that Soothing Sunlight and Great Heal was kind of overkill, kind of unnecessary really. But I don't know, I still think it's a good way to save stats, it's just by not... Because I think it's 2 attunement slots for Great Heal and Soothing Sunlight, if I'm not mistaken. I suppose if it's only 1 attunement slot, then Great Heal probably is more worthwhile. I didn't think of that actually. I redact my previous statement. But still, yeah, Medium Heal works perfectly fine for this build, and it's good. I can get 2 casts out of 1 FP bar, and then you got all your Ashen Estus you can chug through, which is great. See, cocky fucking gankers. this guy. I fought this guy a couple of times. The guy with Vort's mace. I tell you what, even though you get great, massive boost to your resistances or your element, your like poison and toxic and frostbite and stuff, the fucking Vort's mace still frostbites you so fucking quickly. It's unreal. I suppose because you don't notice it's hitting you because you got all this fucking poise. But yeah, I've came across quite a few actual real deal spear gankers now. Like you get all your swathes of co-opers and you know casual gonkers and stuff like that, but yeah, there's still like some real deal spear gankers, and it's like they obviously know what they're doing and they're kitted out in order to deal with the spear. Like the best way to deal with the spear is having range projectiles, so someone who's spamming Crystal Soul Spear or Chaos Blade Vestiges, and then you have your other two guys with massive ultra great swords. See, I'm being cocky there, I'm being fucking stupid. I didn't even put the spears down before I cast that medium heal. That's how confident this build makes me that I feel like I can do that. Yeah, so ultra great. So if you want to fight this kind of build, just get a team together with nothing but ultra great swords and just pressure the fuck out of the spear. It's the best way to win. But yeah, you can imagine a lot of these players, the hosts, they win a great deal of their ganks, and I will hazard a guess that these people do enjoy a good gank outside of the Spear of the Church fight. So I got no reservations of going full try hard on these motherfuckers, using all my healing miracles and just beating down on these folks, because they need to know that this game is still going to kick their ass sometimes. Even though you might have 1,000 hours in this game and you might be shit hot, you still need people to humble you and to kick your ass around occasionally in order to realise, oh wait, I'm not as good as I thought I was. Which is why I'm quite enjoying Omish's Getting Good series, because it's sort of, you can sense that he's really looking to try and improve, and the sort of the humbling thing of getting your ass, you think you're a good player and then you get your ass kicked by someone who's just leagues better than you. I really respect that. That's something that I can really respect. See, all you have to do with this build, they get you down to half health and you're sort of waiting for your Divine Spear Fragment to come back, it's just, even when you're just running around, there's no downtime. You're not losing anything by just running around because you've got your fucking regen working for you. This, I tell you what, props to this Phantom, that was a good idea. So I dropped my spears down to cast my medium heal, and that works like 99% of the time against people. But the Phantom, pop Perseverance to go into the spears and to backstab me out of it. Bloody good idea. Bloody good. Fair props to this Phantom. Yeah, and he's trying it again, so I've sort of cottoned on to what he's doing now, so when I'm dropping the fragment I'm not going in to use my heal spells because I know that he's going to be popping that Perseverance. So I'm just trying to do anything else but that. Yeah, I fucking love the fragment, man. That's probably one of the greatest assets you can have in this in these fights. You just spam it out as soon as it becomes available. Just hit it, and so many people, even experienced players, just not know what to do and they'll just run in. There you go, Blessed Dog coming in clutch there. And now I'm all cocky now because he gave me that welcome gesture to begin with. And I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. Look how the tables have turned. Nearly back at full health, and you got nothing. Fucking nothing. But he's obviously self-aware, so you know, I can't shit on this guy too hard. Bizarre use of the hand axe there. Really bizarre. It makes me believe that he is an actual ganker, because I don't think anyone in their right mind would use just the hand axe on its own. Was going to throw Pua in, but then I realised he's probably self-aware enough to I've gotten some enjoyment out of that fight. And again, we fight him again. You do end up fighting the same people over and over again sometimes. It gets a little disheartening when it's a solo host, and obviously I haven't got any solo host fights in here because they're pretty boring. But eventually I just let them win. I just literally lay down and just die. I just let them kill me because it's like I've kicked your ass enough. Like after the third time of me beating down on you, like even with me not trying that hard, I'll just be like, no, you can go in now. I'll just throw them a pity party and just let them go into the next boss, because Gale is going to kick their ass even more than I am, I imagine. I mean, I guess it's sort of like, you might say that that's sort of like not giving them the true Dark Souls experience, but I think they've had it. They get it enough. Like, I still go fairly hard, even on solo hosts, the first couple of times, but after that, I'm like, no, okay. If it looks like they don't know what they're doing, PvP wise, and they're on their own, I'll just let them win. It's just, I'll pretend. Maybe sometimes I'll pretend to fight them seriously, and I'll just deliberately whiff and be shit in order for them to get their kill, so they can feel good about themselves. Sometimes I'm generous to my people. Oh, this guy was a right shitlord. This fucking guy was spamming the miracles. He was a... I won't spoil it. He was a fucking shitlord. And this gold was for a gank idea in the Spirit of the Church fight. This is a fairly decent idea. So he's using the Dragon Slayer Great Bow, and I've got two options. I either go after the melee guys who are surrounding me, or I chase after the gold, who's roly poly as fuck, whilst the other guys fucking chip me out. And either way I'm going to lose, because either I fight the crowd and get shot by the Ultra Great Bow, whatever it's called, or I chase it, try and in vain to chase him, and I get fucking destroyed by the other guys. You know, the ganking tool, that's a fairly decent idea. So I think I land on... I gave up on chasing the gold because it was a case of I wasn't getting anywhere, and I can at least poise through those great arrows and hide behind pillars, and so going after the bulk of the party is probably the better idea. And he's not using the Millwood, so I don't have to worry about the explosions. But then he returns home. He just completely, whether he quit out or his connection just, I presume his connection just shit the bed. It didn't look like a quit out because they were doing fairly well at this point. So I mean, that works in my favour. More parry kings. Fucking hell. Yeah, I haven't had any hate mail. Even with my old character, I didn't get any hate mail. I'm very disappointed. I mean, Amish got an entire Steam post made about him with his Spirit of the Church build. I was kind of hoping for making that fucking lightning strike twice. But no, nothing, not even a fucking... No one calling me a faggot in my PSN inbox. I'm very disappointed. Why did they put down prison stones? Why the fuck did they do that? Yeah, nothing like that. You get a lot of salty gestures, and I get shit thrown at me when I win. I get that fairly frequently, and people hate the use of healing miracles. Really, they really detest it. And it's usually the people in these scenarios, these gankers, they really hate having to fucking work for their victory because they're so fucking used to walking all over people. So they hate the fact that they have to make an effort. Yeah, so I get some BM from phantoms and hosts and stuff, but I don't get any hate mail, unfortunately. Or maybe they just end up blocking me, because I for these big parties I only ever fight them about twice, and after that I'm assuming they block me or they give up. See, shitlord, fucking disconnector, serial disconnector. And I had the pleasure of invading him again, so I was like, no, you're not getting away with DCing at this. I'm going to fucking kill you, and I'm going to enjoy every bloody moment of it, you piece of shit. Instantly wipe a phantom off the face of the earth. Thank you very much. I'll take my free absorption and poise with none of the hassle. So he's doing that Phantom's doing a Lautrec cosplay fairly faithfully. I'm not sure why he hasn't got the helmet on, but he's got the parrying dagger and the showtime and stuff like that. So good for him, I say. Good for him. There's a lot of running around in these fights. You're backing up for a lot of it, trying to find an opportunity. Although you can poise, you've got to make sure that people are in a position where you're going to hit them with your ultra greatsword, because you don't want to be swinging wildly into one person and the other person circling around to backstab you. That's a really bad situation to be in. Again, always spam the fucking spears, because even if you don't hit them, it's an area of the map that they can't go into now. And yeah, if you hit it right, you'll be able to separate them for like half a second, so you can deal with one person on their own. So now I've got Hosty Boy and just one Phantom. Like, right, I'm going to keep this Phantom alive, and I'm going to kill this host, because I know as soon as I kill the Phantom, he's going to disconnect. So I've got my goal now. He's not going to get away with fucking disconnecting twice on me. I can't be having that. And straight out the Saint Riot playbook, kill them when they have Phantoms. It's just that easy. So that I'm like, what the fuck is the host doing? He's just cowering behind the pillar, waiting for his Phantom to die so that he can pull the plug. And then I'm like, right, no, not having this. Go to my spear. I've lightning infused the Biden. The blessed infusion is just dog shit on that. You get barely any AR. And because I'm only busting this out when I've got things in control and I'm just chasing people down, I don't really see the need to having a blessed infused spear. I think the winged spear is the best one to have. You get a really decent faith scaling with that, and you can get about 350 AR with a blessed infusion. But this one is fine lightning. That's all I need it for. Just need to chase, poke butts. Just completely shrugging off those ultra great hammer hits. Just like, no, I've got to kill this guy. He needs the shit thrown at him. GG's, I guess. So down to our last two clips now. This is just yet another example of the level of salt that you will be able to generate when fighting other players with this build. I fight this host a couple of times, and he has a different set of Phantoms each time, both with different levels of skill. The first group here aren't particularly, they don't seem to be particularly PvP versed, whereas the second lot of Phantoms he summons for the next fight are definitely guys who have a lot of experience with PvP. And they tend to be the ones that are most salty when it comes to fighting these builds. Like, I can see why some people might be upset about having to fight this kind of build. In realistic terms, it only seems to be the people who are experiencing PvP that really have a problem. And I'm guessing it's mostly sort of that ganker mentality, where they're so used to bulldozing and steamrolling people and feeling like they've got a dick bigger than King Kong, that when they finally come up against some resistance that they take exception to that. And it still surprises me how fucking childish people can be in this game, especially gankers. And watching people invading Gank City and watching streams of people do it, like Posse Slayer and all that sort of crew. And you'd think by now, in the year of our Lord 2019, that the gankers would have a modicum of self-awareness and that it's all in good, good humour and good fun. But no, like this real fucking childish saltiness that gankers seem to fucking have, and it's unbelievable. You'd think that after playing this game for 3 years, they'll be like, it's just a bit of fun, we're all in on the joke together. But no, people get really fucking angry if you don't lay down and die for these kinds of people. It's ridiculous. So I put him away fairly easily there, and he summons up his two big boyfriends to come and tackle the mean old spear. So these two are obviously very well experienced. I would hazard a guess that they're Pontiff gankers as well, from their attitude and the setups they're using. And yeah, it's just quite sad, really. Like, I can understand why people might be upset by having to fight this build, but like, why people get upset when they have to fight gankers? So why is it okay that you can be OP but I can't be? It's just fuck you, man. So we got quintessential Gank City review here. So we got big damage Yorms, big damage Harolds, who is also a backstab and parry fisher, and then we got CBV spammer with completely original, not ripped off Revan 619 pyro build. Fucking quintessential. The microcosm of Gang City. Reborn in the spirit of the church fight. And you can see that the host is trash because he you know, he was swinging on me whilst I was getting out of my iframes, so he obviously he knows that this pyro build is a good build and that all he has to do is spam CBV, but he's got no idea about the sort of the nuances. The stat's not even a nuance of Dark Souls 3 PvP, that's just fucking basic. When people are in iframes you can't hit them. Fucking ridiculous. So, yeah, Guardian appears, gotta bat Mr. fucking Crit Fisher away. You're not getting that fucking backstabbed so easily, mate. And wait, go for the medium hill and then... No! How dare you! Point down. Oh, it's so silly, isn't it? So fucking silly. So it's like, sorry I didn't lay down and die for you, mate. Like, honestly, next time I'll just make it easier for you and spread my ass cheek so you can slide it in a lot easier, shall I? And fucking host gives up. He just quit. He just doesn't even quit out. He just fucking gives up. He's like, no, fuck it. I want to win. Alright guys, thanks for coming and watching. I shall see you again very soon. Maybe more spears, who knows.